Westchester County, New York, I'm on a mission to talk to 914 people in the 914. Today I'm up in Peekskill to visit the ENCORE creative space. I sat down with Cruz, who's a creative in the area, a future entertainment lawyer, and a Westchester native. So let's hop inside and have an awesome conversation.
No need to be in the middle, just keep pushing forward. Grateful for all that's around here in the 914.
Where in Westchester did you grow up, and what are some of your memories?
Yeah, okay, so I'm originally from Yonkers, New York. Was born in the city. As my parents had me at a young age, so as they sort of started making more money, they moved me more up into Westchester. So moved to Yonkers, was there for like 8 years, and then as I grew up, I was moving more up. So went to high school up in Cortland Manor, right next to Peekskill, right outside of Peekskill. That's where we are right now. With my boy Pancho, who's the co-host of my show. So yeah,
yeah,
for sure. And some memories, right? So growing up, just being in Yonkers, just always going to Cross County. Rich Hill, when Rich Hill popped up, I was like, this is the dopest place in the world. I always go to the movie theaters in Rich Hill. You're also a Yonkers native yourself, right? Yeah.
You like Rich Hill?
I love Rich Hill.
Oh, okay.
Do you like Rich Hill?
No.
No? Why not?
Bro, it costs like $4 to park there, and everything's in mad expensive.
Yeah,
and
fair
there's better movie theaters, but no, fair enough. If you like it, I'm glad somebody likes it.
There's some memories there for me, at least. You know?
I'm glad somebody likes it.
Yeah, and you don't really come up to this part of Westchester, up in Peekskill area over here, right?
Nah.
This is different. This is upstate to like people.
Yeah.
This is where it starts. People are like, yeah, that's upstate. Like, that's
Bro, it took me 35 minutes to get here. That's upstate.
For sure. And one thing that I know a lot of Westchester people can relate to, Rockies. Rockies is right in the middle. I'm sure you went to Rockies growing up, right?
I went to Rockies, actually, funny enough, pretty late in life. I went to Rockies because I was a student teacher a few years ago in Somers. And it was like right there. So that was the first time I ever went to Rockies. I was probably 23.
That's the high school spot. Like that's like I remember being like when people started getting cars, they're like, we're going to Rockies. I'm like, what the fuck is Rockies? Rockies is fine.
Get the hashtag.
Yeah, the hashtag in the Tommy D. So I love that. And then there's this place called the Quarry up here. If you're from up here, if you grew up, there's this place called the Quarry. It's this bottomless hole that people have jumped off of and died in. We try not to talk about that, except everybody talks about it. And there's actually a big ass crane in the hole too. And it's full with water, and it's just a very chill vibe. And it just a lot of high school kids would go there and chill, drink and shit like that. It'd be like a party over there sometimes. So that's another great spot. Cortland Town Center, if you know, you know. That's where all the hooligans used to hang out. I used to want to be one of them. Now I realize most of the hooligans are not doing shit with their life. So glad I wasn't. So that's just a couple memories for me.
Let's talk about this podcast studio in Peekskill. What is this place? Tell me a little bit about it. What you guys do here?
Yeah, so this is home of the ENCORE podcast. This is our ENCORE Studios. This is a studio where we shoot. We have 2 shows that we focus on mostly. We have our interview series where we interview creatives and entrepreneurs with all topics related to the entertainment industry and the mindset that helps program yourself to win. So we have conversations like that in our interview series. We invite other creatives, like I said, creatives and entrepreneurs. We sit down with them, have a conversation there. And then in the other room, we have a studio over there. And in that studio, we shoot our Unrehearsed series. And Unrehearsed is a show with our guy, Kid Works. Shout out Kid Works. He's a very, very, very inspiring speaker. Controversial, but even if you agree with 50% of what he says, that 50% you're going to be like, that really hits home. Like, I really resonate with what he's saying there. So that's our other series that we do there in that room. We have a photo booth over there or photo backdrop. So we just use the space for our interviews and invite people over, get some hangouts. And this is actually ENCORE's 4th studio? Third studio. Third studio. Venue. Yeah, so we used to have a venue where we used to host events, and it was right next door in Peekskill. And it was big there. Yeah. So it actually got shut down because RIP the venue, because we were using it as a venue. It does not meet the safety regulations of Peekskill for a venue. Not enough exits and whatever else it is. So we used to have that studio too. So that's about this studio right here.
What was that called? What was the venue called?
Let me take this over.
Yo, bro, hop in.
Hop in, my bro.
All right. If you know, you know. ENCORE Creative Space. It was a venue. We opened it to shoot music videos. Then one day we threw a show and we realized, hey, we can throw shows here. It's dope. Brings community together. It helps pay our bills. So it was a thing. It was lit. In March 25th, I had a show scheduled, and I don't want to get into too much details.
Of this past year, 2022?
Yeah, 2022. But there was an incident with one of the performers that led to an investigation. to the business and the zoning for Peekskill. They found that it wasn't zoned for what's called amusement. So I was not allowed to host concerts there, which is our main revenue source, and the venue went bye-bye.
Yep.
So
NYPD reached out to Peekskill PD, and they're like,
they can't. Yeah, it was a big thing. I can't get into too many details on camera, but
Yeah.
it was like it was a thing.
So it's crazy that you say this, and you guys might find this crazy. I used to run a DIY venue in Yonkers at the Yoho building.
Okay.
I was on Nepperhan Avenue. It was a 420 foot square foot space in a warehouse, and I called it a music school.
Okay.
But I threw just punk rock and hip hop shows out of this space, and we would jam 100 kids into this space in Yonkers. And I also got shut down.
Really?
Because they find out that you're not allowed. You find out that you're not exactly allowed to do that. But it's really funny because I never heard of your spot, and it's kind of crazy. I feel like it's crazy that I've never heard of it. Maybe because I don't really.
It was short lived. It was only about 4 months, and look,
I lasted a year before they got me.
What I'll just say is I have a lot of love for Westchester. My entire career started here, but they make it very difficult for creatives to do their thing, as you know, from getting the venue shut down. So I would just encourage Westchester to be more open-minded to creatives, to musicians. This is the people that drive traffic to the businesses around here, create revenue for different businesses and establishments. So I would encourage people to be more open-minded when it comes to musicians trying to step up and make a name for themselves here. Other than that, I don't really have too much.
Yeah, no, it's just crazy that we have the same story, pretty much.
Yeah.
As
soon as you're starting to bubble and make an impact a little bit, it just, they step in and all right, you're doing a little too much here. And we're not abiding by safety regulations, so in that way, kind of understand.
I take a lot of responsibility for that.
Let's talk about entertainment law a little bit.
Sure.
What got you into that? What got you into entertainment law? And do you work in Westchester? What? Yeah, tell me a little bit. What
Got you, bro. So what got me into it initially is I had a lot of friends that were artists, and naturally I just wanted to be a part of their career in any way that I could. So when I was in high school, a little bit into college, I was like, yo, how can I work my way into your life? How can I contribute to your life and career? And I was their pseudo manager for a little bit, so I would help with sort of maybe dot connecting a little bit, giving my input and things like that. But that was something I realized that I'm very dependent on somebody else's success. So as a manager, you have to invest your all into this person. And if they make it, cool. You're able to collect a couple bucks. You got to wait it out for a long time. You're able to collect a couple bucks. If they don't, you're kind of fucked. Yeah. And I didn't really fuck with that. So I was studying philosophy at the time, and I was kind of like, what can I do with a philosophy degree? And I discovered entertainment law, or I discovered, one of the main things they get into in philosophy is law. That's one of the things they're successful at, just because it trains your mind to sort of think in a way that's like very structured and argumentative like a lawyer would do. So I was looking into that, then I discovered entertainment law. I'm like, oh shit, this is the perfect opportunity to sort of contribute to my friend's career, music career. So when I discovered that, I just pursued that role with full force. So now it's been 4-5 years sort of making very active steps into taking on that role. So I work at a law firm now called the Law Office of Adam Friedman. Very dope entertainment lawyer. He's very big on Twitter. If you're on Twitter at all, you might have seen him tweeting and calling out the record labels on their bullshit, not paying artists or producers first and foremost, because producers are very neglected in the creative industry. So he's developed a name for that. I was following him for a couple years, and I was lucky enough to get chosen to get the job. Got chosen out of a couple hundred applicants. So I'm just very grateful to have an entertainment law position at this point. He's based in the city, but what a lot of people don't know is a lot of entertainment lawyers especially work remotely. So there's not really, at our firm, we've probably met, or Adam's probably met 15% of people in person that he works with. Yeah, so it's you don't really need to be in person with them that much. So cool. Yeah, so we work mostly remotely, but I meet up with him. It's once a week in the city. So
sweet, man, that's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. It's a cool way to get involved.
For sure. And I noticed that sort of being on media. A lot of the lawyers I looked up to had this branding that was in hip-hop specifically, and I was like, oh shit, I could brand myself in hip-hop. And a lot of them also made a name for themselves initially by being on media platforms, by getting interviewed. So I was like, I want to be one of those media-facing lawyers, one of those people that very genuinely talks to the people and really wants to help provide insight to them in a way that's cool and unique and doesn't really exist too much yet. So
yeah, dude, this is the way people find you now. No matter what you do,
for sure.
Whether you're a lawyer or a musician, a chef. Like,
Yeah.
this is the way people find you, you know,
Exactly.
by making stuff, and especially if it's something that can like entertain or educate someone.
Yeah, for sure.
Name 3 of your favorite Westchester spots.
I bet. So number 1 is ENCORE Creative Studios. This is our studio right here where we're at right now. Every time I come here, I've learned more here in this studio from talking to people that's going to help my career than I've learned in law school, than I've learned getting my master's in music business. Like right here, I've learned so much just by being able to talk to so many people. Always come here feeling inspired and leave feeling like I could freaking take over the world, it feels like at times. Because it's like, just people come here with such great energy. So, number 1, ENCORE Studios. Number 2, downtown Yonkers. For me, that's like when I get off the Metro North and I get off in downtown Yonkers, that just feels like home to me. Walking around the waterfront, going to Food Lab and like all those spots around there. That's just home to me. And number 3, don't at me, but Peekskill Riverfront is the best waterfront in Westchester County. And if you haven't walked through the whole shit, I really don't want to hear your opinion on it. You gotta come here, walk all the way to the right, and walk all the way to the left. And you'll notice that it is the best riverfront out here. So yeah,
Facts.
Facts.
I like Terrytown,
got
but
it.
I haven't done Peekskill.
Terrytown's cool. They got courts over there.
I-
We don't have courts over there, but yeah.
I gotta check out Peekskill.
You gotta check out Peekskill.
Hell yeah, bro. Well,
for
thank
sure.
you for doing this. Is there
For sure,
anything
bro.
else you want to add before we sign off?
I just want to add, thank you so much for making this 914 Collective, bro, because I really love what you're building here, and I really, like, I had a dream when I was in college. I went to Albany. I was like, yo, I love where I'm from. It really has inspired me in a lot of dope ways, and I want to make a platform that sort of really sheds light on all the creative things and all the beautiful architecture and places to live in Westchester, and you're doing that way better than I ever could. So thank you so much for
Cheers,
building
man.
this platform for me, for us, for you. Like, you're doing an amazing job with what you do, bro. So thank you
appreciate
so
that,
much.
dude.
For sure, bro.
Thanks for being on.
Yeah.